What's up everybody, I'm Brian from iWantTesla, and today I want to talk about this. It's been a little while since I talked about it, and I got a lot of questions on this off-road / overland build of the Model Y. So today I'm going to answer those. And at the end of this, if the question you have in the back of your mind is not answered, then or asked, put it down below and I might do this again. So the first question I got a lot was why? Why would you do this to this Tesla, this performance Tesla? It's $70,000. Why would you even do this? It's not an off-road vehicle. It's just a taller Model 3. Yes and no. There are some capabilities that this will have over the Model 3. And yes, you can lift a Model 3 and put some bigger tires on it. But this is just going to be a little bit more capable. And I plan to, test a bunch of things with this and bring it out to you guys so that you can see what is actually capable with this Model Y. So the lift is between the tires and the suspension lift. It ends up being an 1 3/4 inch spacer in between the strut tower and the body. So it's almost like a body lift, like you would lift the body of a Jeep to give more clearance for the tires. It doesn't do much for the suspension travel. All it does is just a lift. So in this case, it's lifting the suspension up higher, or really just forcing the suspension lower, so it gives more ground clearance. And with that, I put bigger tires on there, some 30-inch tires, which give a total, it's just over 3 inches of total difference. Now you can change that up with different size tires. I'm actually going to have some other wheels and tires coming, and I'm going to drop down a little bit of the size of tire so I have a little bit more clearance inside the wheel well, because I do get a little rubbing and I haven't fixed that issue completely, but I'm still going to stay with the Toyo tires. I'm just going to go down a 1/2 inch in size, and it should solve all the issues. And I think it's going to be a little narrower tire, but the wheel's going to be, you'll see, I'll show you all that stuff. But I want to have so much fun with this car. Teslas are known for being fun, straight line, taking off, and this is a performance, so yes, it is very fun to do all that stuff, but I wanted something a little different. And if you see my channel, if you subscribe to my channel, and if you're not, please hit the subscribe button down below. There's a lot more coming like this. I like things a little differently. So I want to be able to put, I've got a light rack that I'm building out. I'm understanding all the electronics. There's a lot to this thing, but there's a lot more going into this thing. But I've got a light rack. I'd like to put a rooftop tent up there, developing some things underneath the car to protect different skid plates, to protect some things that will go on sale. So if you guys want to follow along and do this to your vehicle, you can use this as a guide. And maybe we can meet somewhere and have some fun in the mountains a little bit. Again, this is not going to be a rock crawler. I'm not going to take this on the Rubicon Trail. This would get scratched up completely. But I do want to take this some places and have some fun out in the woods and see how far you can push this vehicle, this electric vehicle, how far you can go there and still get back. So all the people in the video that I posted of me on that trail, everyone said that's not off-road. My driveway is worse than that. I've been in parking lots worse. I feel sorry for where you live if your driveway's that bad, but I said at the beginning of the video it was not, I was going to test it off-road a little bit and just really see if anything broke and see what needed to be fixed and changed. I wasn't saying this was a major trail or anything, but this was the entry level just to see what was out. Camera doesn't show the angles as much as they really are in person, and it was very capable. There is some things that will probably need to be changed for the traction control, and hopefully they do that in track mode version 2, or not track mode, off-road mode version 2. Tesla, if you're listening, I'd like to help out with that. Contact me. We can work together on make off-road mode amazing. So again, the lift is from Mountain Pass Performance. It is a spacer. I think it's $500, and it's really easy to put in. It does not void your warranty. I put it in and contacted my Tesla service center in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they were going to align the car for me. I didn't actually go there. I went out to Hickory, North Carolina to a certified body shop for Tesla, and I had them do it because Tesla, they were so busy. It was K&M Collision, if you're in the area, in Asheville, Hickory, Mooresville area. Another question was, why'd you take off the PPF? I did not take off the paint protection film. That is still underneath this vinyl. This vinyl is from Avery Dennison. I'm gonna have more on the vinyl itself, but I just wrapped right over top of it. And the reason being is, I talked to my window tint and paint protection guy and told him what I was gonna do. And I'm gonna go to his place anyway. He's got some trails and we're gonna have some fun there eventually. But he said, being off-road, there's gonna be some branches that are gonna scrape on there and possibly go right through that vinyl. Let's paint protect it first and then put the vinyl on. You can always pull the vinyl off and redo it, but the paint protection is going to protect the paint. So worst case, I can put all this back to stock, pull that PPF off, and it's like brand new. Question, have you thought about running a small battery pack to run the rooftop lights, which are not there right now, but to run the rooftop lights? I don't want to add more weight to it. If I'm going to have an extra battery pack in the car, I'm going to look for something that can give me some range if I run out. So maybe carry a solar panel and a small battery pack that I can get 10 miles of range or something like that, just so I can get out of an area. I can gain a lot of power or not lose a lot of power really. So if I go up in a mountain, you know, go up 3,000 or 4,000 feet and I use 50% of the battery just to do that, I know I have enough to get back, obviously 50%, but if I use 70% of the battery, I know I have enough to get back because I'm regenning most of the way down. So I'd like to push it really far and see how far we can get and then have that extra battery pack just in case. So I wouldn't use it to run the lights. I'm not going to be really doing that much off-road at night. We'll be camping, but you know, lights don't take that much power. They're all LEDs. If I'm around a campsite, I'm not going to use the big 50-inch light. I'm going to use the smaller lights or maybe just a handheld battery light. Is the speedo off, the speedometer? Yes, it is off. And no, you can't change that yet. You can't go into Tesla and change the tire size. I asked them that when I went to the body shop, the K&M Collision body shop, they looked in the computer to see if they could change the tire size, and it's not possible. At 70 miles an hour, it's off 3 miles an hour. So as long as you keep that in mind, you're not going to get a ticket. The only question is that I might be putting a couple extra miles on the car that aren't registering on the speedometer or the odometer, and that's an issue. I have not driven it much since then. Really, it's just been around town. I've barely put 100 miles on the car since I've done this, or since that trip out there. So I would like Tesla to be able to change that, you know, because a lot of Jeeps, you can change things like that. You can get in the computer and do that. I would like to have that accurate reading. Have I voided my warranty? I have not voided any warranty on this car yet. Basically, a warranty, if you change one thing on your car, it's not going to void the whole warranty. I've changed the suspension just a little bit. I put that spacer there. Obviously, that hasn't voided the warranty because Tesla was going to align the car for me. So now if I take the suspension apart, or maybe I put a coilover system together in there, that can affect the warranty. And really, it won't affect the whole warranty. It'll just affect the warranty on the suspension, or if something breaks because of that. So say I've lifted it too much and the axle is now rubbing on something, the axle's messed up, and now I have to pay for that myself. So it's cause and effect, really. The suspension is not going to affect the trunk warranty. The red tow hook in the back. Someone asked a question about that, and I just bought it on Amazon. I'll have a link down below for it, but I don't really plan on running. I might tow something with this, but I put it there because there is a tow hook back there. You can hook into there. The trailer hitch is centered. The recovery hook is on the one side. So as someone's pulling you back out of something, it's going to pull you at an angle. I'd rather be pulled straight out, and that is a rated, very strong recovery tool, and every off-road vehicle should have a recovery point. The front one here, I'm going to have the hook in there so I can be pulled out. I would love to find out a way to put a winch on this thing, because I think that would be amazing, because if you go off-road, you're going to get stuck. And I'd like to be able to get out of that. Maybe it's a portable winch, or maybe it is a battery pack that I hook to a tree to pull me out. Who knows how that's going to work, but I'd love to have that recovery situation in there. But yeah, you definitely need recovery points if you're going off-road. How much did you spend on the wrap? How much was the wrap? Again, this wrap was from Avery Dennison, and they send it out for the build and for the videos and everything. So I didn't pay for the wrap. Thank you very much. I mean, I guess I'm paying for it in the videos. These do take time, by the way. They're not easy to do. But it is a textured wrap. It's a rugged wrap. So textured wraps are more expensive than smooth or gloss or even satin wraps. You only need about 50 feet, 5 foot by 50 feet of wrap material to do a Model Y or a Model 3. A regular color with nothing added to, or no changes, just a flat color or a glossy color, that's about $400 through Avery. This material is about $800 because of the texture, because of the difference in there. So if you go to a textured, but usually it's about $400 to $800 is the range, the ballpark range for a do-it-yourself. Now, if you pay someone to do this, it's probably $3,000 to $4,000. So you got to keep that in mind, but it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult to do. Get a couple pieces. You can just buy a couple pieces of whatever, get some good material, Avery or something like that, and try a couple panels. Try a hood, try a fender, and then, practice before you actually do it on your own. A lot of people commented on the angle grinder in one of the videos, vlog number 4, I think, or 5, I can't remember. That was in the wheel well. I'm trying to make space. These tires do rub just a little bit on the plastic. And at one point, there's a metal piece that comes out. It's a pinch weld. The metal sticks out quite a bit from where the welds are. So anything past the welds really isn't doing anything. So I just ground that down a little bit, and that's where the sparks are from. I didn't hit any of the welds. I'm still shy of the welds, so it doesn't affect anything. I just need a clearance. Am I running the stock lug nuts? I'm not, but you can. I have the titanium lug nuts from Tesla Roddy. They sent them out for my Model 3, and I kept them for this. Now, titanium lug nuts are really not needed. They are very light. If you're going to the track, and I did take my Model 3 to the track, and that's why I had them, but the stock ones would still work. My nuts on the car are blue. They come in black as well now, so a lot of people we just get the black ones. The titanium is expensive, but they don't warp over time. So when you're out in the heat, because if your nuts are warped, then they can actually warp your wheels. Or your rotors and then your wheels. So the thing about your nuts is you have to have the right angle that will meet and seat on the rim, so you have a nice tight fit there. Otherwise, it's going to, if it's rounded and it's only at one point versus flat on there, that's what causes the warping. Or if you have a different angle, you don't want that. You have to have the right ones. You have to have special nuts like I got. Probably a lot of the off-roading people that saw that video, because the video's over 100,000 views now, of me testing it off-road in quotes. But everyone said that this is not going to be a overlanding vehicle because of recovery points, skid plates. I'm dying to see how the community is, an overlanding community. I've seen a lot of videos and they all seem great. The Tesla community is great. And if it's the same, could you imagine the peacefulness out in the woods with the like-minded people? But I think a lot of those people were concerned because those are experienced off-roaders or overlanders that were worried about the vehicle. And thank you very much, I appreciate that. But I am taking a lot of steps to make this a great experience and to possibly get some other people involved in this sport, I guess. Would you call this a sport? I don't know. And a lot of people said, replace the springs. So again, this is a performance Model Y. What if I just swapped them out for the regular, all-wheel drive? It would actually lift the car even more. I think there's a gentleman out in Nevada who lifted his. He's got an all-wheel drive and he got the same spacers and lifted the car up. It doesn't have as big a tire on the car, but you can see there's a big gap there. It's definitely taller. Now, I don't want to go to those. I don't want to just swap out for the Tesla springs because I want a more soft ride. A lot of the ride is in the tires and when we air down the tires, but I want to be able to have an adjustable ride. But also I want a nice, soft, cushy ride. And I think you don't get that unless you go to a coilover. And something more robust where it's going to take some hits and I can go a little faster off-road. Kind of like you see a Raptor go and the wheels bounce and the car's level. I kind of want that with this. I want a more softer suspension and more travel. And I think it's possible. We'll have to see. But I think this video is long enough. If you didn't hear your question answered, please put it down below. I'll do another video like this, but like I said, there's a lot more to come in with this. I'm working on the lights right now. I have the side pieces built for the rack, and I've been doing a lot of stuff around the house lately, but the controller for this, I don't want to get wrong. There's really nothing online explaining how to install this. There's just the owner's manual, and it's kind of general for everything because everything gets hooked into this. Every accessory gets hooked into this box, and I want to make sure it's done right as far as the wiring for power, wiring up the lights so it can switch on and off, and setting up everything perfectly because I don't want any issues with it, of course. I want to be able to work on it, get it working, and then use it, and then move on to something else because I got a lot of stuff for this vehicle. There's a lot more coming with it that I haven't shared with you. I got to get it done so we can actually go off-road, so we can go to the mountains, so we can have some fun, go camping, and experience this overland, well, actually just experiencing nature. I think it's going to be so awesome to go off in the mountains and not hear anything but the tires and the gravel, tires and the dirt, and and not smelling the emissions from a Jeep or a Toyota or something like that. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And speaking of that, my buddy Tony Pham made me a license plate for the front of this because I had the zero emissions on there. Let me go get it. Here it is. I got the front license plate bracket, the Quick Bandit, and he made me this zero emissions with my logo on it. Really cool. This is gonna be fun to have on there, and it kind of matches all the black and everything. Anyway, thanks again, Tony. As always, stay awesome, stay positive. Get your questions down below. Subscribe to the channel, and there's gonna be a lot more coming. See ya.